Have you ever seen a piece of stone that could break your heart? Today, we're going to look at one that has been telling a story of love and loss for over 2,000 years. It's a story captured in marble, a final silent conversation between a mother and her child. Here it is. At first glance, you see a quiet, domestic scene. A woman is seated, her gaze fixed on a baby held by another woman, perhaps a nurse or a family member. But look closer. Look at the mother's face. It's filled with a profound, quiet sorrow. Now look at the baby. Its tiny arms are outstretched, reaching, desperately trying to touch its mother, but they can't. They will never touch again. This is a grave stele, a marker for a tomb from 4th century BC Greece. It was found near Athens and is now housed in the National Archaeological Museum in Athens, a treasure among treasures. The inscription on the top tells us the name of the woman who passed away, Philono. This isn't a monument to a great warrior or a powerful king. It's a tribute to a young mother, a woman whose life was cut short, leaving behind the one she loved most. What makes this piece so incredibly powerful is its subtlety. There's no dramatic wailing or tearing of clothes, which you might see in other forms of ancient art. Instead, the artist chose a moment of quiet, eternal separation. Philono is seated, a detail that's more significant than you might think. In Greek art, sitting often symbolizes the deceased. They are in a state of rest, separated from the living who stand. She is present, yet she is gone. Her body is a ghost in her own home, a memory carved in stone. Notice the way she looks at her baby. It's a look of pure love, but also of deep melancholy. She is a spectator to a life she can no longer be a part of. She can see her child, but she cannot hold them. She cannot comfort them. She cannot feel their warmth. The space between her hand and the baby's is the most heartbreaking part of this entire sculpture. It's a void, an unbridgeable gap between the world of the living and the realm of the dead. The baby, in its innocence, doesn't understand. It just wants its mother. That simple, instinctual gesture of reaching out is what makes this scene so universally tragic. The other woman, the one holding the baby, plays a crucial role. Her expression is somber, empathetic. She represents the world of the living, the ones who must now care for the child. She is the bridge between the past and the future, holding the legacy of the mother in her arms. She stands, grounded in the world Philono has left behind. The composition is a triangle of grief and love, the departed mother, the living child, and the caregiver who unites and separates them. Now let's talk about the style. This stele was created during the classical period of ancient Greece, a time renowned for its pursuit of ideal beauty, balance, and emotional restraint. The figures are carved with incredible naturalism. Look at the drapery, the soft folds of the chitons they wear. It clings to their forms, revealing the bodies beneath, but it also flows with a life of its own. This wasn't just decorative. It was a way for the sculptor to show off their skill and to create a sense of realism and movement. The bodies themselves are idealized, meaning they conform to the Greek standard of beauty and proportion. But despite this idealization, the emotion is raw and real. This is the genius of classical Greek art, the ability to convey the deepest human feelings through calm, composed, and beautiful forms. The artist didn't need to show contorted faces or dramatic poses to communicate the depth of this tragedy. The quiet gaze, the outstretched arms, the physical distance between the figures, it's all they needed. This stele was not just a public marker, it was a private focus for mourning. Imagine Philono's family visiting her grave. This sculpture would have served as a perpetual reminder of who she was and what they had lost. It allowed them to see her one last time, forever, in that moment of loving farewell. In ancient Athens, death, especially for women in childbirth, was a common tragedy. These stelae were a way for families to process their grief and to honor the memory of their loved ones in a very personal and poignant way. Unlike grand public monuments, these grave markers were for the family. They told a personal story. The inscription with Philono's name ensures she is not forgotten, that her identity is preserved. It says, "This was a person. She lived, she loved, she was loved." It transforms her from an anonymous figure into an individual whose loss was deeply felt. Think about how this contrasts with how we often memorialize the dead today. We have photographs, videos, digital footprints. The ancient Greeks had stone, and with this stone, they managed to capture something incredibly profound about the human condition, our deep connection to family and the heartbreaking finality of death. This stele reminds us that grief is a timeless emotion. The pain of a parent leaving a child or a child losing a parent is a sorrow that transcends culture and time. When you stand in front of this stele in the museum, you can't help but feel a connection to Philono and her family from 2,400 years ago. The marble is cold, but the story it tells is warm with love and heavy with loss. It's a testament to the power of art to communicate across centuries, to speak directly to our hearts without a single spoken word. It shows us that while empires fall and languages change, the fundamental bonds of human love and the pain of separation remain the same. Philono is gone, but her love for her child is immortalized in this stone, a silent lullaby for eternity. This piece forces us to reflect on our own lives and the people we love. It's a quiet reminder to cherish the moments we have, the touches that are possible, the embraces we can share. Because, as Philono's silent story tells us, those moments are precious and finite. The artist who carved this didn't just create a grave marker, they created a timeless poem about love, loss, and memory.